I need more cowbell. What's up, everybody? What is going on? Happy Monday night. Good Lord. I mean, the NFL playoffs were good and bad all at the same time. And then we just got done with the college football championship. So congratulations to Ohio State. Y'all did it.
First time in 10 years.
Yeah. First time in 10 years.
It feels like they've won it like seven. Based on their fans, you thought they've won it every year. It's been 10, which for Ohio State is a long time for Ohio State standards.
Yeah. They're always in the mix, and I mean, it just seems like every decade they are winning the championship. So they are a spoiled franchise there. Also, who else is spoiled is Chris Cage. Good job, bud. I forgot to share my screen to begin with.
Let
me
this is how production goes, especially with me. This is what I do at least once a show.
Yeah, no, but yeah, I mean, you can see it. I mean, he picked Ohio State. He had Ohio State and Notre Dame going, I believe. So phenomenal, man. I mean, let's just look through his picks. I mean, he got Clemson, Texas right. He got Texas, Arizona. He got Texas, Ohio State. Is that right? Is that how they? Yeah.
Well, he's a huge Ohio State fan, so I knew he was going to have Ohio State going all the way. I just, the rest of the Notre Dame. No, he had Georgia. Yeah. Okay,
there we go. Yeah, I don't like the way ESPN labels.
Yeah, because you can't tell.
Yeah, like the only way you can tell is because of a small little check mark.
Yeah.
So, but he did not pick Penn State, so he picked SMU, which wrecked his bracket there. And then he did pick Notre Dame to play Georgia, but then did lose to Georgia. So, but still, I mean, hey, getting one whole side of it correct is pretty great. Congratulations to him. I believe might have some swag or something of that nature in order for him in the future. Mm-hmm. If we're still doing that.
Look at all those X's and one check.
Oh, good God, man. I mean, look at all the O's. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Justin comes in second, a distant second. 300 points less. 525, Giff 450. Josh, you're 450 right there too, right in the mix. Davis, fuck y'all, 375. Landon Griffith, I believe distant cousin to Peter Griffith, 300 points. And then Jeremy Miller, 300 points. Ryan Cummings, 225. Sol Govin, 225. Myself, 225. Jason, 150. Cody, 150. Man. Definitely, I mean, I think the first round, a lot of people kind of got right for the most part. But it was just, man, whenever that second round hit, none of the favored teams won.
No.
All of the underseeds did. And that is what absolutely wrecked a lot of brackets, unless you're an Ohio State fan or a Notre Dame fan.
Right. Yeah, no, Ohio State had the best team as far as depth, players, all of that. Mm-hmm. It's just is Ryan Day going to finally get out of Ryan Day's way? And it finally happened, because I know it's the first time of the 12-team playoff and all of that, but the teams that Ohio State had to beat to get to this point should not go be like, oh, well, they just had the best players. They still had to go out there and do it week after week against top. I mean, I think this team has the most top, because of how everything's structured. They had the most top 10 wins on the season.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, definitely.
They're like, it's some weird of like how many top 10 wins they had on the season compared to other teams of the past. It's that kind of crazy of a stat. But for those who forgot a little bit, their run, they lost to Michigan, and I mean, it was hilarious. Number one, that was hilarious. And I mean, it was fire Ryan Day. He should be gone. I mean, every Ohio State fan, Michigan fans are like, are out there selling swag saying in the maize and blue, but it says extend Ryan Day. Like, all the Michigan fans are just, it was scorched earth. And then going into that Ohio State Tennessee game, people are like, well, they're limping in, they blah, 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 they don't care. And they come out and just dog walk Tennessee. I mean, it was bad. 17.
Yeah,
it was ridiculous. Then they go and the number one undefeated team who beat them earlier in the season, Oregon, and make them look okay at best.
Mm-hmm.
Like they look, make them look.
I feel like they dog walked them worse. I mean, even though the score was 41-21, I mean, at one point, I believe, like at halftime, they, I mean, Oregon only had I think 7 points or 14 points at half.
It's like 8.
8 points, yeah.
Yeah,
that's an even weirder score.
Yeah, because they went for 2 because they're so far behind, so that's why it was 8.
Yeah, the end. Yeah, so that balanced out. Yeah.
And then then Ohio State just kind of coasted after that. Yeah. And then they go from there and they beat Texas, and that game was kind of back and forth. They still ended up beating them by 2 scores. Now, granted, they still made a big time stop, and Texas gave them everything they could. And then this game, Notre Dame comes out, drives down like a 10-minute, 18-play drive, capping off in a touchdown. And I'm like, all right, this is either going to go 2 ways. Either Ohio State's going to clamp down because Notre Dame is very one-dimensional. They kind of run like Michigan's offense as far as like, we're going to run 87% of the time, throw it another 7, and then just get delayed games the rest of the way. Like, that's their offense. And they came out and did exactly that scheme, scored, because it's not like they're going to score fast. And then Ohio State came out, did what Ohio State does, marches right down the field, and then they clamped down, and it was kind of, I mean, it ended up being closer at one point than it should have been, because Ohio State let off the gas, which I was surprised they did. It's the national championship. What else are you going to do? So congrats to Ohio State. What a run. People can't say that Ryan Day was born on third base anymore, because this was all of his team. Like these are his kids that he recruited. So it's not like, he can get out of I mean, people are still going to say, I'm saying, like, I was going to say shadow of Urban Meyer, but people are still going to be like, Urban's better, blah, blah, blah. He has as many titles at Ohio State as Urban Meyer does. Now, granted, Urban Meyer has 2 because he won. He has a few because he's won them at Florida. But I'm just saying, as far as Ohio State runs are concerned.
Yeah. Well, hopefully he's a better coach than a diddler of teenagers, right? So maybe he helps shape their minds instead of groping their bodies. But anyways, but that is college. So congratulations again to Chris and Justin Toner. Yes, you did come in second, bud. Yeah, and your NFL bracket is doing better. For sure. We're about to get to that one here in a second. So what's up? Good to see you, girl. She's on vacation. Oh, so rough.
Yeah.
No, she was actually going to the Unrivaled matches tonight. So that's dope.
So if you want her review, tune in to Rev Sports on Wednesday. Rev Sports Wrap It Up.
Yeah. And I mean, speaking of basketball, dude, I just saw an incredible high school basketball game.
Nice.
This thing was back and forth. It almost went into overtime. I mean, nearly like 100% free throw percentage for everybody, and high percentage of threes. I mean, just whenever one person made a statement or made something, the other one just rebutted right away. Wasn't sloppy. It was great. It was a really great game. So shout out to Smithville for winning, but shout out to Batiste and the Stovall family. Because like 4 of the 5 starters last name were Stovall.
Wow.
So small town, big family that's there.
Shout out.
But yeah, they did great. You know who else did great, man?
Not me.
Yeah, well, the Chiefs. The Chiefs and apparently the refs, because people are still bitching about that kind of shit.
It's not getting to the point. It's not the refs. Patrick Mahomes is just playing the way he kind of slows down enough to where it's like you have to kind of call it because that is the rule, but then also the way he's doing it. I mean, Troy Aikman was even like, dude, I'm like, if he's smart about it, he's flirting with danger.
Troy, he doesn't want your life. He doesn't want 9,000 concussions.
So, but that one where the Texans helmets collided and he got the penalty. Yeah. Yes, in the grand scheme of things, he didn't get touched. But the way the angle was, it looked like, the Texans helmets clashed, but it's right there, bang, bang, it's whatever.
It's a bang, bang play. I mean, in the moment, you understand why it's called.
Right.
The the other one, like with the late hit out of bounds, or whatever. Yeah, as excessive.
Now, the roughing the passer early in the game when he overthrew Travis Kelce, that's the only one that I would question because it literally just dude just ran into him. But the other ones, it's like you have to call it. It's just Patrick's playing a different level mind game there because he knows exactly when to slide or when to get down, but he hesitates enough to where they have to commit. It's the same thing. He slowed down. He slowed down because he felt the guy, so he slowed down just enough to and then he flopped. But he's still just smart enough to get away with it. Now, how long will he get away with it is who knows.
There's got to be some changes in the offseason.
Right.
You know, I think the biggest thing is that whenever you're looking for something, you're going to see it. So that's for the fans. That's also for the officials. But to me, it's like the inconsistency. I mean, when you get to playoff football, they tend to be a little more lax. They let people kind of, play a little bit harder, and because this is when it counts, and the refs don't want to be the one to make the decision. I don't think any game really the refs made a decision for the game, right? You know what I mean? Like, no heavy influence. They weren't the one that missed 3 fucking field goals. Okay, so settle down there, Texans fans. But
that was when I knew the dark magic was on, when Fairbairn missed that extra point. And I was like, yeah, it's dark. This is where the dark magic comes in.
Yeah, and then my boy Leo Chanel with his second block field goal of the year.
Yeah, that dude was everywhere.
Dude, that dude is incredible. But the Chiefs do go on to win 23-14 in true fashion, not scoring more than 30 points. And not winning more than 10 points, basically, as far as a differential.
And it's the same. It's the same narrative today. Did the Chiefs get lucky? I'm like, have you been watching them all season? This is what they do. They hang around enough to be like, this team might get them, and then they don't, and you get pissed because they can't keep getting away with it. They've been doing it for 19 games.
Yeah, I mean, they're basically just cock teasing America right now. Of basically just, someone dominating them, but then it turns out they've got the whip in their hands. But yeah, man, I mean, this was, not the shootout we were wanting, and definitely a little bit sloppier game. But the Ravens, the Bills. Bills
let's rip the Band-Aid. Let's rip the Band-Aid off.
Yeah, Bills do top the Ravens, 27-25. Mark Andrews, love you, bud. But, man, just wasn't his day. But, Josh, go ahead. Let's rip that Band-Aid off of that gaping wound you call a heart.
So, the Ravens have you don't have to do that. I'm not.
Oh, I love doing it.
I know, but you don't have to do that. Go back.
All right, fine.
Tune into Rev Sports. I'll put it that way. I'll have one for you all then, not tonight. But the Ravens do 4 things every year in the playoffs. It's so weird. Is Lamar plays kind of underwhelming, not terrible, but not to the level that he's typically is known for, especially this season. The wide receivers can't catch. Happens every time. Man. The defense doesn't force any turnovers. Can't get pressure. Well, kind of got pressure on the quarterback. Doesn't do that. And Ravens have turnovers and just odd turnovers. And because it wasn't like Josh Allen's numbers. I got to look. Can you look them up real quick? It's not like they were like, oh my God, Josh Allen is the second coming that he's been showing all season as well. But the key stat, and Justin kind of pointed that out on our Discord yesterday, he didn't have any turnovers. Bills didn't have any turnovers. Ravens had 3. That's the tail of the tape. That's pretty much what it comes down to in a game this close. Is that the Ravens the Bills made just enough plays to do what they needed to do, but it wasn't like Josh Allen was putting on a clinic.
Yeah, and I mean that's what we said before too. Was it's going to come down to turnovers because both quarterbacks in the past have been susceptible to them. Oh yeah, being that gunslinger kind of style that Josh Allen was. He's really honed that in as far as his ball control. But you also have the elements, man. I mean, that ball is hard as a fucking rock, man. Yeah. I mean, it is It's like a Ford truck, like a rock. Was that Ford?
Yes. Yeah, it was Ford. I was either thinking it was Chevy or Ford.
Yeah, that right. Yeah, but yeah,
It's one of the two.
Rock. But it was
Spawn or never do.
exactly. But it just, man, I mean, Lamar put it on the ground literally. I mean, after catching a botched snap, or that wasn't his fault, just a little high. It avoids a sack, but then I don't know, just the momentum and just that slipness of the ball. But Mark Andrews, man, I don't like to look at and say, oh, this one person lost it, but it's like, dude, he had the worst game.
Yeah, the worst game. And
fumble.
Hold on for 1 second, and then Lamar's interception. Mm-hmm. It's on Lamar as much as it is on everyone else, but it's just these weird sloppy moments that the Ravens do in just unorthodox mistakes. Because if you watch, he thinks Bateman's still going to go, and then Bateman cuts in, and he's already let the ball go by the time Bateman makes a cut. So it was either a misread on the play or Bateman ran the wrong route. But again, that stuff should be down, fine-tuned. It should be good to go. Yes, they didn't have Zay Flowers, but that still shouldn't mean Bateman doesn't know the route or Lamar doesn't know the route Bateman's going to run. And then, Mark Andrews, he could have gone north and south immediately and just kept running east for some reason. And then, Lamar, if he would put that ball a little bit further in front of Derrick Henry had green in front of him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's overtimes, but those were the passing plays. Rushing wise, I mean, even Henry, I mean, he only had 84 yards. He did have one touchdown, averaged 5.2, but Justice Hill was kind of really the one that got a lot, like some of the big pops. I guess both of them in the first half, they had both had 40-yard run or something like that.
Yeah.
Henry and Lamar, but yeah, Justice Hill had 6 carries for 50 yards. Then Lamar had 6 for 39. Mark Andrews even had a couple of runs himself, but it definitely was not enough. Looking at the tape itself or the team stats, that is, the Ravens 416 offensive yards.
Yep.
Compared to 273 offensive yards for the Bills.
When you put them in their territory, you basically spot them 8 points.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, I mean, it's just one of those things. It's like you look at the measurements or the metrics, after the fact, and it's like, what happened? But that's when you actually watch the game itself, and you really kind of see. Going into halftime, it was 10-21, and you kind of felt that in the air. That it was like, okay, something's amiss, but. The Bills only scored 6 points. I mean, the Ravens defense really did step up, but the Ravens offense just could not really deliver, even though they got 15 points in the second half.
Lamar battled back. I'll give it to that. Lamar battled back in the second half. But, it just turnovers and drop balls. I mean, they just, like I said, the Bills just made more plays.
Yep. Yeah, and the biggest drop ball of all, I mean, really, definitely, recent history. Mark Andrews there. So the Ravens score a touchdown, gets it to 25-27. They're going for 2 to tie the game. He had a quite a decent amount of time to throw the ball, but rolls out to the right, hits Andrews right in his fucking breadbasket, man. Mm-hmm. And it did look like Andrews kind of like while he was catching it, stepped and kind of slipped because you kind of see a little bit of an odd stutter, but still, man, I mean, you're a 8-year pro, 10-year pro. You've got to get that. I mean, this is the most crucial moment, and honestly, I don't know if Andrews is back. I don't know what the contract looks like. They have Isaiah Likely, who caught a touchdown, I believe, in the game itself, and. That he definitely looks like the future. This year, Andrews kind of seemed like a shell of himself after the injury, even though he was still scoring touchdowns for fantasy. But, but unfortunately, it was just not the Ravens' day. It was the Bills' day. And the Bills do go on to continue this long storied rivalry between them and the Chiefs for the AFC Championship in Arrowhead at the Arrowhead Invitational for the Lamar Hunt Trophy. But it's going to be a great game there. I'm excited for it. Looking at our group, the people that are in the top are the ones that picked that game. They picked the Bills to win instead of the Ravens, like everybody else did, which is rough for me and you, especially. But yeah. So going on the NFC side of things, so we did see probably the biggest upset. What's up with you?
Oh my gosh! I mean, I just Detroit fans don't deserve this. They don't. This was the year. I mean, everyone except for like that, maybe a couple other teams. They just feel bad for the Lions. They've always been bad for the Lions. And then Dan Campbell and the whole team, everyone likes them. And you figure their offensive coordinator and their defense coordinator were going to leave. And today the offensive coordinator is now the Bears coach. So you felt like, as far as coaching staff and great team that you've assembled, it was going to happen. But we were all in the back of our minds going, who do they have to play on defense? Because at that point, their roster's down to like water boys. And they unfortunately they showed it. And Jaden Daniels, damn it, why does he have to be in Dallas's division?
Yeah. They
He
the
is
Eagles,
so
man.
good.
You guys got a tough division for sure this next
I
year.
know that the NFC East is in the NFC Championship. And we're not going to bring up the Dallas Cowboys haven't been in the NFC Championship. We already know
It's
that.
a good stat.
You tell it to him. I can't get it out. I can't get it out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in the last 29 years, there's only one team that has not been to a conference championship, and it is the Dallas Cowboys.
Good job, Jerry.
Yeah.
You did it.
Yeah, he's definitely to thank for that. But I mean, the Jaden Daniels of the situation, he's lucky that the Lions didn't have Bobby Boucher to pick up on defense. Because he tore them up, man.
Yeah, he did.
It's just, I mean, it was a high scoring affair, no matter what. I mean, going into halftime, it was 31-21. I mean, in the favor of the Commanders. The Commanders do end up 45-31 overall, topping the Lions. But the Lions gained them yardage wise. You got 521 for the Lions, 481 for the Commanders. But yeah, I mean, it's just turnovers, man. Yep. I mean, whenever you have 4 interceptions and 1 fumble, you're lucky to even to lose by 14, really. Because it should have been an even more severe deficit. But that it's just testament to their offense and how fast they can turn it on. But unfortunately, the defense just couldn't turn it off.
No, they couldn't. And Jaden Daniels is just especially how depleted their defense was. And then you go up against Jaden Daniels. I know he's a rookie, but still, we've seen what he's been doing all season. And Cliff Kingsbury can at least pick off that depleted of a defense to call a good game. So shout out to the Commanders. I mean, you got your offense consists of Jaden Daniels, Terry McLaurin, and like one-legged Brian Robinson. Robinson. There's a receiver on the Commanders.
De'Ami Brown.
So did someone say? I think I heard a stat today where De'Ami Brown had a total of 5 catches in his career, and then he's got 5 catches for like 85 yards in the playoffs or something.
I mean, maybe. I mean, I think he kind of turned on a little bit at the end of the season.
Yeah.
But yeah. De'Ami Brown got 6 receptions for 98 yards. Terry McLaurin got 4 for 87. But you also have Austin Eckler. I mean, he's I'm not going to say he's the unsung hero, but he is kind of a forgotten value in this because
I agree.
He did have 6 rushes for 47 yards, average 7.8. But then he also had, just like with the Chargers, he was also a receiving option and got 4 receptions for 41 yards. So that definitely helps move the sticks. That helps in, giving a little bit of break to, like you said, the one-legged Brian Robinson Jr., who had 15 rush attempts for 77 yards. But I mean, Jaden Daniels, I mean, thrown for nearly 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, 22 of 31, no interceptions. I mean, to me, that's the biggest stat right there. No interceptions, because this is the time where you are playing some of the best defensive and offensive minds and the teams that execute the best. So you have got to bring it, and you have got to hold on to it. Go down, just throw it away. I mean, some people may call it, pussy shit or whatever of that nature because, they're not, being as aggressive. But I'm sorry, look, it wins games.
Yeah, it's a business decision for a reason.
Business decision, man, and and championships make money. Mm-hmm. The Commanders will go on to the NFC Championship, where they will face the Philadelphia Eagles. Man, your favorite team.
This is why I hate football right now. Is Lamar's out?
Yeah,
Patrick Mahomes still playing. The Eagles' heads isn't falling off. It's not.
No, it's flying. The Eagles are flying, and
Jalen Carter is so good. Saquon Barkley, the only decent thing that's happened in all this, the fact that the Giants effed up so bad on letting Saquon go, and he signs with the Eagles, and you kept Daniel Jones when your 13-year-old son said, "Hey, you probably should draft Jaden Daniels," because everyone knew it wasn't going to work for Daniel Jones. Yeah, it wasn't going to work, but. Whatever. I'm just here on a computer screen, not in the front office. So
yeah, well, I mean, it could be worse. It could be the Jets listening to the kid. But yeah, for the Giants, I mean, that soundbite is just going to live in infamy. So I mean, it's probably a part of like Saquon's workout regimen.
Probably.
Like he's got a remix of it. It's like, well, as long as he doesn't go to the Eagles.
Yeah.
As long as he doesn't go to the Eagles. Because, good God, fly, Eagle, fly, 205 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns, man.
You would think the Rams, after their first meeting, when he rushed for over 200 yards on them the first time, that they would figure it out.
Oh, no.
Maybe we should not. Because, look at Jalen Hurts' stats, and it's a snow game. What do you think's going to happen? They're probably going to give it to the guy who rushed forever on you. And and Saquon called game. Now the Rams try to make it interesting there at the end, but Saquon called game.
Yeah, and I mistakenly gave credit to Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry for big touchdown runs because it was actually Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley. Sorry guys.
You said they had long runs. They ran. Depending on what your long run was, but it wasn't touchdown runs. I knew that. No, because Lamar didn't have a big one, but Jalen Hurts did, as well as Saquon Barkley. I believe they were both over 40 yards. Mm-hmm. But yeah, absolutely incredible. 3 rushing touchdowns for these guys. Overall, it's crazy, man. I mean, the team that has got the most yardage had lost the game. Yeah,
in all 4 of these games. The Eagles get 350 total yards, while the Rams get 402. And for the Rams, a lot of that came too late. They were marching down the field, and then I think it was a fumble, I believe, or something of that nature. They put something on the ground at the end and turned it over, or maybe it was a turnover on downs. But they had this hot comeback, and it seemed like they were going to do it, and it just faltered. It just stalled there at the end because the Eagles' defense is a real one. And so the defense got 7, or sorry, my bad. Opposite. Eagles defense got 5 sacks. The Eagles offense allowed 7 sacks.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's even crazy. But like you said, these snow games, it's gonna get messy. Ball control is very key, and the team that did not turn the ball over won.
It's kind of a weird theme on how these games have gone.
Yep, because the Rams have had 2 fumbles. Time of possession was damn near the same, 29-6 and 30 minutes and 54 seconds. So, but then touchdown or third down efficiency the same. 4th down, the Rams, went twice and only got one, and the Eagles got 1 and 1. So I mean, pretty even. I mean, even penalties, 3 penalties on each team. But it's just those turnovers. I mean, flipping the field and just kind of cutting your scoring opportunities where you can even get a field goal. It's massive right there.
Yep. So. It's kind of what happened. It's kind of what happened in the Bills Ravens game. So 2 snow games kind of had a similar situation. So
snow
crazy.
So I'm trying to get back to the group. Why does it not let me do that? There we go. Sorry.
We found it.
A couple of seconds. There we go. Bow.
Oh, there it is.
Hooah.
Hooah.
Yeah. So still in the lead, girl. Come on now. But yeah. Let's get to some chats too. Yeah, I don't think the refs called a penalty on the flop though.
When he went out of bounds.
Oh, okay.
Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, they
might
not have.
It's probably just a replay everybody's crying about. Josh didn't need to be Superman this time. You are correct.
Nope.
Even though he played like the Green Lantern or something. I mean, he was still a superhero. Bills D-May plays.
He's not.
I don't know. Spine on Lamar, the fumble on Andrews was a thing of beauty. Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess beauty's in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah.
But if you're a Bills fan, it definitely was a thing of beauty. And speaking of things of beauty, so in first place, 475 points. Right behind her, 425 is Chris the Gift Taylor. Then Justin, you are in third there with 425. But you got me and Ryan sneaking up with 350. I mean, for Justin, I mean, he's got the Bills going all the way. So that's the thing. I mean, if the Bills go to the playoffs, then he's got it. Even though Chris Cage has them, and Jeremy Miller. But it just with everything else on the NFC side they have, it is far down. But yeah, I mean, but for Soul, the big thing is really picking the Commanders early on, to actually play the Lions. But picked Detroit to win, which everybody did. So that's like, it's not a thing of, poke fun of some people like, you fucking idiot, because, sometimes we just make bold choices and it doesn't work out. But you would have thought that was a safe bet.
I mean, to an extent, the Commanders the Commanders barely made the playoffs. So, but I mean, technically, Ohio State won the national championship as like an 8 seed. So, what are rankings really?
That's right, man. Just any given Sunday, or Friday, or Saturday, or Monday, whenever they play the games.
Shabbos.
Yep, Shabbos. God dang it, I hate you, ESPN. And for Chris, the same thing. I mean, because they're picking the Eagles, Chiefs, and Bills, and so they're getting 3 of the 4. I don't know anybody that actually picked the Commanders in their right mind. There we go. Good job. And for Justin Toner, same thing. Chiefs, Bills, Eagles, and but
Justin is in the hunt for sure.
Oh, definitely is, man. Yeah, he's been having some good brackets. But for us, I picked Baltimore, so that was my bad. I mean, honestly, I thought the running juggernauts would do it, but they just didn't run. It just didn't seem like there was that many designed run plays as they should have. So maybe Harbaugh is a little bit of the problem there, in Baltimore. But but I mean, luckily did pick the Eagles, but I'm just betting on the Chiefs. I mean, if the Chiefs get in and win, then that's going to be a considerable difference. For Ryan, it's much of the same story. He picked KC over Baltimore, but he also picked Philly. So if Chiefs win, it looks like there'll be a tiebreaker. Now, this was the weird part, folks. How many total points will be scored in the 24-25 NFL playoffs? 13 games, y'all. 13 games.
So,
trust me, I typed in a different number as well.
Yeah. Don't feel bad, Ryan. I know exactly how you read
500. I picked 500. Because I felt like, on average, there would be like 40 points a game or something like that. So, so far, not too bad. Not too bad.
right.
We might have to keep track of that on that weekend. And maybe we'll just look at yours real quick too, bud.
It's not good.
I mean, same thing, KC over Baltimore.
Yeah, I got KC.
And then Detroit over Philly. I mean, I feel like most people, Detroit or Philly, I mean, it was really kind of the thing. And for a lot of people, lucky that Philly's the one actually going in. I mean, if the Rams did that, that would have busted.
I did hover over the Rams going over Philly because,
yeah.
But I figured they were going to have to go to Philly and Stafford in the cold. But Puka's a beast, dude.
Yep. Yeah. Oh my God, dude. He had a couple of phenomenal catches.
Puka's a beast,
dude. You are not human. But yeah, I mean, it's getting cold. Weather is still very much a factor. Commanders outdoor stadium, right? I mean, even though they got to go to Philadelphia, but all 4 teams play in outdoor stadiums. Is that a thing? I don't know. I mean, because you throw Baltimore in the mix, outdoor stadium.
Yep.
The Texans, dome. I don't know. Maybe these domes are making them a little bit too soft to be able to play in January.
I think they'll be okay.
Yeah, no, they'll be just fine, dude. They've got such a bright future. But no, we're going to take a look at. I kind of dig this. I don't like the number on mine, but the projections. Percentage of chance to win. I don't know why Ryan's is higher than mine.
That's at 45 points at the end. It's what that he accidentally put.
No. Like, there's no way he's going to win the tiebreaker with 45 points.
That's the joke, man.
Yeah. There's no way. Yeah, maybe we missed something, right? Maybe it's something. He did pick the Commanders, so that's probably what it is. He did pick the Commanders. I picked the Bucks. So that's the difference. Yeah. So there's not even going to be a tiebreaker if the Chiefs win. Now I want the Chiefs to lose. No, I'm just kidding. No, it'd be good to have some fresh blood in there. But I do like this forecast though. So Ryan has 35.5% chance to win, and then I believe this is Justin's 26.5%. Then Soul at 22.5. So looking at those 3, really. I mean, Soul's been doing pretty dang good at picking the brackets here lately. Anything on the brackets before we wrap this sucker up, bud?
No, Ryan is arguing with you though.
Yeah. He's like, I'm sitting with Philly to advance. Would shake things up. You got Philly going to the Super Bowl?
He said, I have Philly and you don't, so I don't.
Okay, then that's the big one then. Okay. But you also had the Commanders, so I don't know where we're tied right now. I don't know where that is then, because I did not pick the Commanders. I got that wrong as hell. Yeah, okay. Then thank you for enlightening me. Go Commanders! I'm a huge Commanders fan now.
You're a commie?
Jaden Daniel, I'm a commie. Free
Jaden Daniels
healthcare for everybody.
Lamar Jr. is doing very well in his first playoff run.
Yeah, dude. I mean, that dude is so skinny. I mean, he's got to bulk up in the offseason.
He'll be fine.
I feel like he was going to break in half on some of these hits, but
he'll be fine.
Yeah. All right. But anyways, well, hopefully you guys are fine. Hopefully you all at home don't break in half. And definitely check us out. Are you guys doing Game Dudes tomorrow?
Wednesday.
Remember,
okay. We're a lead-in right now to Rev Sports.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I mean, you guys change every now and then. So you get Wednesday. We got the double header, baby. So you got Game Dudes Wednesday night. Following that is Wrap It Up. Looks like I will be able to join you all this time. So I'm excited for that. Be back with my friends. And then Thursday, boy, you guys got a big show Thursday. It's ramping up for you guys there at Ruckus Wrestling.
Yeah, we've got a lot to cover on Ruckus Wrestling on Thursdays because we're leading into Justin and I's watch along of the Royal Rumble. And I know the Royal Rumble is probably the most watched by casual fans because it's really cool. So please tune in and me and Justin can fill you in on the gaps as a casual.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's a great way to meet each of the characters, right, or each of the wrestlers. Yep. And I'm sure you guys will be talking about a lot of the storylines, what's making them Pop, who's got the crowd favorite, and maybe even who wants to see in the future. Are you liking the Netflix?
Yeah, the presentation's really good. And they basically, they start out like their first show was like over 3 hours. And then these last two shows have been like 2 hours and 35 minutes. Because since they're on Netflix, they technically don't have a time limit for their streaming. Right. But because, they got to get people on planes and stuff to get to the other destinations. Yeah. So they still want to make it a tight show, a 3 hour show or so.
Yeah, still keep it around that. But but also they could probably move pretty quickly because you're not having to have commercial breaks.
Well, they do have commercials in America, but some other countries, they don't have commercials because of how the Netflix is set up. Right. So they have a bunch of backstage stuff that we miss. So Justin and I are like,
VPN, baby.
VPN.
Yeah, this is brought to you by NordVPN.
Yeah, NordVPN, so I can see all the background stuff that happens that they show overseas and not here.
Yep. Love it, man. Well, hey, and we love you guys. Y'all take care. Be good to each other. And fuck your brackets, man. We're out of here. Got to get more cowbell.